That ruling was only to stop other humans that have been beating their wives from Jahiliyyah days, just like.
But Manar, hold on, Manar. You're falling for her bait. You're falling for her bait. Domestic violence is perfectly fine and legitimate. You always have to have an enforcer of the rules in every society. A family is just a very small society. If your wife and or children don't follow the rules, the last possible way you can enforce the rules is physical violence. This is just pure logic. We have police for a reason. The man is the cop of the house. It's not a big deal. Like, Islam is based in that. That's correct.
Some of us don't want to get beaten up. I have a question for you. So you said that Islam is better for Western, for your argument's sake. Which Islam are you guys talking about? Because if you look at the Islamic countries, they don't all follow the same things, right? And Grace, what you said that they don't do it anymore. Look at the age of marriage in Iran, Iraq, and some of these Islamic countries. They start from 80 years old. Now, do you want that in US? 80 years old getting married? And even if it is illegal, in my country, in Pakistan, child marriage, just now they're like focusing on that. Otherwise, little girls were still getting married at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. You know what I mean? So
okay,
which Islamic law, hang on, which Islamic law do you want to bring into Western country? That's my question. Thanks.
Okay, well, I'm not really talking about law because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super educated on Sharia law, so like, you could talk about that with somebody else. I'm just saying the culture's general attitude, like, obey your husband, listen to your father, divorce is not encouraged, don't get an abortion, be chaste until marriage.
Can we go
I think overall that I'm just saying overall,
okay.
I think that's better for women.
Okay.
Also,
So
I just want to ask you, can I just ask you a quick question, just a detail about your life? You are Canadian, right?
I am now, but I was born in Pakistan.
When did you move to Canada, if you don't mind saying?
Oh, 27, 28 years ago now.
So how old were you?
I was like about 12, 13.
Okay, so are you claiming that you experienced oppression in Pakistan for being a woman before the age of 12?
Of course. It's not that I face oppression.
Because you said I don't know anything about it, but you do.
Hang on. Let me give you an example.
All right,
let's hear
as a kid. Yeah, let me give you an example. Now, I was very lucky that I didn't grow up in a very highly toxic religious family, right? But however, my cousin that was like a couple of years older from me, and we used to play together. He was a male, so he would go to arcades to play those video games. But I was never allowed to because I was a girl. So, and I was always like, why can't I? He could go play outside. I was allowed to go outside and play outside on the street or in our compound till a certain age. Then I was forbidden. No, now you've hit puberty. Now you can't. Once you hit puberty, you got to start wearing this and that. I'm telling you, I was lucky to not be in a religious society because as soon as your puberty, you get periods, some even younger than that, you got to start wearing a scarf. You got to cover your face. There's so many things you can't do, Grace. In Pakistan, I remember now it is better, but at 10 o'clock, you couldn't go outside to go grab a coffee. You'd go there, it's all men. You don't find women hanging out. Now it's a little bit different. It's a little better. But take it Afghanistan. Those women, that's another kind of Islam. You'll have to decide which culture do you want it here? Which culture?
So your oppression was not being able to play video games. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing how that's like massive.
Is that what you got? Is that what you got? Yes. Okay.
It seems kind of like a ludicrous example of oppression.
I am not allowed to do the same things, the fun things as a child that the other person can do. The man can do it because
it sounds to me like that culture is recognizing that once a woman does hit puberty, she is more vulnerable and should be protected more. And I don't really see the problem with that. I don't know why should women be going out after 10 p.m.? Why? To be hoes? Is that really better for them? Why? What's the reason?
Listen, as an adult, I think I should be able to go outside. A 10-year-old is not going outside at 10 o'clock by themselves. Okay, so
what is a single woman doing alone by herself at 10 p.m.? What is she doing? What's she gonna go do?
Hanging out with my friends, grabbing a coffee. Why? Why can't I?
You're getting coffee at 10 p.m.?
I get a coffee.
You got a book to write.
You get a drink, I get a coffee.
We all know what women do outside after 10 p.m. and it's not good for them. It's not good for them.
I like to go outside with my single
We all know what women do after 10 p.m. going outside with other men.
Just to be sure there's not a yelling match, we do have to... Okay. Let's break it into 1-minute segments.
Mahleej,
No, I'm
I
just
think she's saying that you're doing
that-
things that aren't good for you after 10 p.m. But
Yeah,
Mahleej,
they're not good for me. How are you to decide what's not good for me? First of all, as a single woman, okay, here, if I want to go out, and this is why I love the Western countries, because if I want to go out with my single girlfriends, wear a mini skirt and go and have few shots of vodka or have a glass of wine, I'm allowed to do that. And I can safely do that because I'm a grown adult. I don't need a man's supervision. I mean, why do you think we need to be protected though? Like, why do you think we need to be protected? Grace, I'm so
because what you're doing is you're rebelling against nature. Nature tells us that women are smaller, softer, more vulnerable, and have something really beautiful to protect, which is our sexual chastity. But the modern West tells women, just be like men, go outside, that's an exaggeration. Go out, be with your friends, no big deal. And what do you get? You get rape culture in colleges because women can't handle it. So they say, oh, all the men are raping me. What do you get? You get abortion. You get hoes. You get women who can no longer pair bond because they've been run through by the men they go to the bars with after 10 p.m. How is that necessarily better? I understand you're free to do more stuff, but is it better for you?
Yeah, it is.
So hold on, but if counterpoints, what they're arguing against is they're misunderstanding the hijab of Islam. Hijab of Islam is a PDA, no display. It's basically a public regulation for all behavior of all people in public. It's not only on women. There's a hijab on men as well. If you're not doing the hijab, the same people that Mahleej is saying they're going to come and beat you if you're not wearing the hijab, they're also going to come and beat you if you're wearing a Speedo. They're also going to come and put you up in jail if you're not wearing your shirt or you're showing off a little bit too much of the area that you're not allowed to show. So this is a hijab of all of society. There's basically complete public regulation on all behavior in public, including the displayed behavior, the clothes you're wearing, the behaviors and actions that you do. So you're not allowed to kiss random people. And did you ever ask why don't they allow them to drive?
I have a question.
Maybe it's for protecting them.
I have a question.
Protecting from who?
No, Mahleej.
All right, one second.
I have a question.
I want to
that
give,
I need to ask Manar.
counterpoints has been waiting for a
Why
while.
wouldn't you take that over driving?
I want to give counterpoints a
Manar,
chance.
why are you dressed like such a slut tonight?
Yeah, I'm dressed like a slut. I wish women would dress like me. I've
See?
never seen.
You're not covering your hair. You're
You know how
showing me
regularly
your
women
chest.
dress?
You're flexing your muscles. You're dressed like a whore.
Yeah,
What
so
do
my
you see?
hijab is
You're being
from
a
my
whore
belly
again.
button. My hijab
You
is
violating
my
your
belly
laws
button
right
to my
now.
knee. Are you seeing any of that? That's my hijab. Are you looking at my belly button to my knee? Are you seeing any
I'm
of
looking into your eyeballs right now. This is
it?
very
Between my
inappropriate.
belly button to my knee, can you see anything? That means I'm following the hijab, so you can't actually say I'm
You
naked.
just
I
showed
don't know what
me
you're
your
claiming.
cleavage a second ago.
What are you claiming? I'm saying this is how Western women dress. How is that better for them?
Yeah, you just showed that to me. That's wildly inappropriate.
By the
You're
way,
being a
how is
total
what is
slut
better
right now?
Better in what counterpoints? Can you actually
No,
you see how they run? You see how they run, guys? We're not allowed to have
All
a
right,
real
we need to
debate.
go
I
one at
want
a
to
time.
mention something. Yeah, I want to mention
I'm
something.
not allowed to have a real
that
debate.
Slave women back in the day, slave women were ordered to stay topless. So they would have these markets where you would go and buy slave women. And this is how they could distinguish about who is a believer, a Muslim woman, and a slave woman.
Sounds like the club
They used
scene
to keep
in
them
Florida.
topless. They used to keep them topless where men would go and, squeeze and check the fruits, and then they would buy them from there.
Mahleej, there have been
we're just
ethical
following
abuses.
Islam. If we're only showing a little bit of
Mahleej,
cleavage. We're not
there
even
have
showing
been
all this.
there
Okay.
have been ethical abuses towards groups of people, men, women, whole ethnicities, etc. for since the
Where?
beginning of time. Since the beginning of time, we are talking
have to give me
about
specific.
modern Islam versus modern West. Now,
Islam cannot be changed.
right,
I'm saying the culture that modern
Islam-
Islam produces.
The principle of Islam is it cannot be changed. It is for the whole time. It is from
Okay, maybe I
that time and it
misspoke.
is for the
I
time
mean,
today.
I
That
mean
is
the
Islam.
cultures today, the modern cultures today of
What
Muslim
is the
countries
modern
that have been
culture?
influenced by Islam.
What is the modern culture? Give me the modern culture.
Well, I'm talking about countries
Canada
like
and the
Iran,
US.
Saudi Arabia, Egypt, etc. Like
Saudi Arabia just allowed
some
women
of them
to
are
drive
some of them are
in
stricter, some of them are
2019.
not as strict.
Yeah,
Women
Qatar.
just started driving in 2019 in Saudi Arabia. Do you drive?
What's
Yeah.
the rate of women being sexually assaulted in Saudi Arabia? Is it as high as it is here?
I'm going to jump in really quick, just because there's a lot. Okay, I know, Manar, you said you didn't feel like you were getting a real debate. I want to give you a chance if there's something, if you want to say more.
Not at all. Not at all. The moment I actually try to dive into the actual argument, they keep claiming that Islam is not better. Okay, James, they're saying Islam is not better for the West. I'm saying Islam is better for the West because societally they create better outcomes. And also it produces more women because you're not aborting 500,000 children a year. Can they answer to any of these arguments? Or what do they mean by Islam is not better? If it's not the socioeconomical outcomes of the woman, the education outcomes of the females, or the sheer number of humans that come out of that society, that Islam proves that these outcomes are better because we're not aborting a million babies a year. What do they mean by better? How can they say that Islam is worse if it produces more children, more women, and it's not killing women? It's like saying, oh no, the Jahiliyyah of Islam was better, even though they murdered and buried their daughters out of financial struggle, fear of financial struggle. How can you make that claim? What do you mean by better then?
If you want to debate the specifics,
yes, that's what I want to debate. Yes, I don't want to debate anything else.
You want to debate the specifics of abortion?
I want to debate how can you claim that Islam is not better when it creates better socioeconomical outcomes for the woman. The women
it doesn't create better socioeconomic outcomes for the woman.
Happier relationships. They're married. They're less divorced.
You have no idea if women are happier in Islamic societies because they're dominated by
what I know,
Let me just
what I know is married women. Let me finish.
Okay,
let me finish.
1 sec.
Let me respond.
I'll give you a chance. You got to wrap it up, Manar.
Let me respond to him. Actually, the studies show, this is a 2025 study, married women with children twice as happy as unmarried, single, childless ladies. So there's a correlation between married and having children and being happy and satisfied as a woman. So whatever society pushes for that outcome, it's the better society, and I argue that Islam is doing that. Your society is not doing that. Your society is arguing against that.
Did they do any polling on societies in which women were
this is not an argument.
Compelled?
This is not.
I haven't even said anything.
All right, we got to give counterpoints a chance too.
Did they do any polling?
It's not an argument if I haven't even gotten the first 3 words out, dumbass. All right. So, anyways. Do they have any polling on women who had acid thrown in their face for pursuing higher education? Do they have any polling for the 500,000 Syrians who were butchered in Syria in holy war?
In a war?
Do they have any statistics on the happiness of people who live next to jihadist Islamist freaks? Do they have any polling on the happiness for those people?
It's like saying, look, the Venezuelans, how can they not, are they not happy? We just took their president. I mean, we just destroyed their president, bombed them to Schmizerine. How are they actually
hold on. So
I think we could all agree.
I think slaughtering their neighbors, that was actually the Americans that were killing
Why did you make the
Iraqis.
argument of 500,000 dead Syrians? You didn't make it 10 years before the war. You made it at the time of the war. Because that only happened because of the war. It didn't happen before the war.
Wait. Counterpoint.
That's when people were dying, though.
Would you guys be
Who was
willing
killing
to?
those people?
Because of the war.
Would you guys be willing to grant that a society?
What was the war based on?
America funding with timber sycamore, desert eagles, and beautiful weapons to Syrians so they can murder their fellow people.
That's not our topic.
I want to go back to Grace. Grace, you had a question.
I think one of the biggest cultural differences we could focus on is the two cultures' approach to dating, because dating in the West is super different than dating in relationships in Muslim countries. In Muslim countries, I believe dating is not really a thing. Basically, you're supposed to meet with a woman's guardian or father or uncle, and you can have some interaction with her, but it's watched over. And then if you both decide that you want to get married, then you get married and you have kids, and divorce is frowned upon. In the West, dating is seen as, first of all, sexual experimentation. Have sex with a bunch of different people, see which ones you like, see what kind of sex you like. Then you move into dating, which is one-on-one, close contact for several years to get to know each other, most of the time including sex. Sometimes you move in, sometimes you don't. Then you move to marriage, and divorce is not frowned upon at the woman's slightest hesitation. That's why 80% of divorces are initiated by women in the West. Now, I think one is much more protective and works with women's nature than the other. I think the other one is whoring women out and then telling them to inject themselves with chemicals to make them sterile, or killing their own babies when it doesn't work out great. And the other one is much better. What do you guys think?
So you were talking about there's no abortions, Manar, in Pakistan? There is. They're all illegal abortions, which you
Well, the rate
cannot
is much
count
lower.
for. No,
The
no,
rate is
no.
much
You
lower.
cannot count for it. And these are the doctors that give us the numbers, how many women come up there and how many women are killed if they get pregnant before, honor killing, before they get married, if they're found out. And then same thing, like he was saying, you are damaged goods. You'll get married to a 50-year-old, right? So this is how it works. And now in each society is different. That's why I was asking you, which Islam do you want to bring there? Because Pakistan is a different society. In Afghanistan, it's totally different. In Pakistan, nowadays, you can actually date. You know what I mean? The culture is actually changing up there. So I don't understand what you were talking about. Divorce rate. Divorce rate in Pakistan now is higher than it was before, and it's mostly women.
Okay.
As soon as, hang on. As soon
Yeah, is
as
that better
it's
for women?
easier, as soon as it was made easier for women to get a divorce, they went and they got divorced because most
Because
of
Western
them
culture is
were
disseminated
oppressive
over there.
marriages that they didn't want to be
That's
in.
fine.
Some of them were getting married.
No, but
to
it's also it's
at
also a
their age.
possibility, Mahleej. It is also a possibility that these women are buying the lie of the West, which is that more choice is
Of
always
course.
better.
Of
And so they're saying,
course.
okay, I can get out of this marriage and get more choice. But what happens to women who divorce their husbands, generally speaking? They become miserable
happily
single
ever
moms
after.
who are
That's
on
what
happens.
psych
Hold on one
medication.
sec.
We've already seen this in our culture. Yet they're buying the lie. We're trying to sell the lie to more people.
Are you married?
Isn't that also a possibility if you just flip it
Are you
around?
married? Or no, you're not married, right? I know a lot of women from Pakistan, from Islamic countries that come here. They're saving not only their lives, they're saving their kids' lives as well from abusive fathers.
Okay, James, just allow me this. So how did you guys prove that Islam is worse for Western
you can
society?
beat your wife
because
legally.
you have to repair your hymen, because you're not allowed to have sexual interaction in
You can
adultery.
beat your wife.
No, I
which
think I can
reduces, which is actually amazing, reduces the rates of STD reoccurrence and occurrence. It
Yeah,
actually
Manar,
is
I
a
think I can get a
solution
direct
to a lot
answer
of
from you.
these
Yeah, can I ask you?
problems of single motherhood.
I want to, just in case Manar has any, do you have more,
Yeah, let me
Manar,
just finish
before we
my
jump
point.
into the question from CP?
Yep.
Yeah, well, just let me finish the point. So I'm just trying to understand, how did they prove that Islam is actually not better for the West? I said the societal outcomes are better, the women are reporting happier, and they're actually more women because we're not aborting them. They're arguing like, oh, look, here in Egypt, she partied so hard, she got fucked by a random dude. Now her mother was so interesting. I don't know how she found the surgeon. And then she has the money to go, and I'm supposed to like say, oh, you're right, you win the debate. Islam is actually bad for modern America or modern West. What is this argument? What
No,
a failed
I think
debater.
you'll-
I'm just showing. Let me just finish the point here. Come with a real argument. How did you actually prove that Islam is actually worse for the West? Because she
You
has
can
to
beat
not
your
have
wives.
adultery.
You can beat your wives legally.
That's
in
it.
Islam. Yeah.
Because you
That's
can beat
it,
your
that's
wives.
it. That's it for you. Oh my God, I don't like getting beaten.
I'm just
Do
saying,
you?
if
you
you
wanna
beat
get
your
beaten?
wife, okay, here's the
I
question.
don't want to get beaten.
Okay, here's the question. But what if it
Why
leads
would
to
I wanna get
happier,
beaten?
more satisfaction for you? What if it leads to more satisfaction?
I don't like to get beaten.
It's like
That is
saying,
not
hey,
satisfying
the
for
student,
me.
the student doesn't want to go to school. He still, after he goes to school, it's
So
better
you're gonna beat them?
satisfaction.
So you're gonna beat them? So you're gonna beat them?
The student doesn't want to. I'm just saying, it's possible sometimes when something is regulated and you
people.
don't want to do it, that doesn't mean it's going to lead to a negative outcome. It could be still a
It
positive outcome.
says in 434 in Quran, you can beat your wife even if you think.
Did the
doing
Prophet
something
Muhammad
wrong.
beat his wife?
Think.
Did the
Not
Prophet
like you
Muhammad
know.
peace
let
be
me-
upon
let me-
him?
let me-
You can
wait,
think.
Ma-
You
Manar,
can
let
beat
me
your
engage
wife.
on this one.
And this is why in Pakistan they couldn't pass a law for domestic violence, because in Pakistan you can't make a law.
Grace,
unless it's
understand
out of
this.
Sharia. It
Grace,
has
let me
to-
just respond to
everything
this.
has to be according to Sharia.
Grace, let me respond to this.
So they said, hang on, let me finish my point. What's wrong with you? Hang on, chill. So in Pakistan, when they brought up the domestic violence thing, they said you can keep everything, just this hitting part, hitting your wife, just take that out and we'll pass it. In
Okay.
2025, we finally passed the domestic
let me
violence
respond to her.
law.
Let me-
Why?
No, understand,
Because
Grace, you have to
in Quran it
understand
says
this.
you can beat your wife.
Okay, one second.
The
All right,
reason-
we're gonna switch over. But Grace and Manar, you both want to speak. Was one willing to defer to the other?
Well, I just want to
Are
explain
you
because
gonna
they're
answer?
misunderstanding
Are you not
the
going to
actual
answer the
dilemma.
question, Manar?
Go ahead. Let him say. He'll let me go after him. He
Okay.
just has a quick thing.
Yeah, there's a misunderstanding in this dilemma. The dilemma was that why did Islam regulate the beating of the wife? Because it was such a reoccurring event that was happening in all of humanity, and no other religion stopped it. No other iteration of any organized institution stopped it. Islam was the only one that regulated, and you know how it regulated it? It made it impossible for you to find a stick to beat your wife with. Look at the actual verse. It says you're not allowed to beat your wife with a stick bigger than your thumb. It has to be smaller than the length of your hand. Where are you going to find a stick like that? And by the way, show me evidences of Prophet Muhammad beating his wife. If it was something so welcomed and cherished, and Islam advocated for more women to be beaten, why did Prophet Muhammad never beat his wife? No, this is showcasing that ruling was only to stop other humans that have been beating their wives from Jahiliyyah days, just like
But Manar, hold on, Manar. You're falling for her bait. You're falling for her bait. Domestic violence is perfectly fine and legitimate. You always have to have an enforcer of the rules in every society. A family is just a very small society. If your wife and or children don't follow the rules, the last possible way you can enforce the rules is physical violence. This is just pure logic. We have police for a reason. The man is the cop of the house. It's not a big deal. Like, Islam is based in that. That's correct.
Some of us don't want to get beaten up.